We all want to feel fearless. But what if fear was never the enemy? What if fear is just a mirror, reflecting the places where we're meant to grow? Most people wait for fear to disappear before they act. But fear doesn't leave first. Action does. And the moment you stop running from it, you realize fear was never here to stop you. It was here to guide you. We think the goal is to get rid of fear. But the truth is, fear doesn't disappear, it transforms. Once you start listening to it instead of running from it, fear becomes direction, not danger. And it all begins with understanding what your fear is really trying to tell you. Naming what scares you. The first move is obvious, but most people skip it. Say what you're afraid of, out loud or on paper, or to someone you trust. Fear loses half its power when it has a name. But we avoid naming it because we don't want to look weak, or we think it's stupid, or we've lived with it so long it's just background noise. You might say you're just not a confident person or not good at that stuff, when what you really mean is, I'm afraid of failing, of being judged, of looking stupid. This isn't abstract. If you're afraid of public speaking, maybe it's not just the stage. Maybe it's because your voice was shut down as a kid. If you panic at the idea of quitting your job, maybe it's not just about money. Maybe you've tied your worth to stability, and anything outside that feels like death. Fear is layered. Start peeling. When you name your fear, you can start to see how much of it is built on lies or old wiring. You can ask, is this actually dangerous or just uncomfortable? Am I reacting to now or to something that happened years ago? You have to talk back to the fear, not by yelling over it or pretending it's not there, but by saying, I hear you, I know why you're here, but you're wrong about this. Call out the false alarms. Fear isn't always wrong. It evolved to keep you alive, but it's terrible at the context. It reacts to threats like they're tigers, even when they're emails or awkward conversations. Your body doesn't know the difference. It just goes into lockdown mode. Your mind has to always protect you from pain. This is why the warning always comes too early. You have to understand this and cheat yourself to go one step further than the warning happens, of course, not in every situation. You need to train it, like your body when you do sport. Breaking the cycle of avoidance. Avoidance is fear's favorite tactic, and it works for a while. You feel the anxiety build up, and then you avoid the thing, and boom, instant relief. That relief trains you to keep avoiding. But every time you avoid what scares you, you teach your brain that it is dangerous. You strengthen the fear, shrink your confidence, and stay stuck. It's like learning to swim as an adult. At first, standing in the shallow end feels intimidating. Your body's tense, your breathing's off, and your brain screams that this isn't safe. But the more time you spend in the water, the calmer you get. Eventually, your movements become natural, and your confidence grows. What once felt overwhelming becomes effortless. That's how the mind works. It resists what's unfamiliar, but with repetition and time, the unfamiliar becomes your new normal. Most people stop before that shift happens, but if you push through, everything changes. You have to break the cycle not all at once, but in small, deliberate acts of resistance. Do the thing you're scared of on purpose, not recklessly, not without support, but with your eyes open, saying, I'm allowed to be afraid and I'm doing it anyway. Start with what's tolerable but uncomfortable. Speak up in the meeting. Post the thing. Tell the truth in a conversation where you usually shrink. The point isn't to be perfect. It's to prove to yourself that you won't fall apart. That fear doesn't get to call the shots anymore. Expect the panic and keep going. Don't wait for the fear to disappear before you act. It won't. You don't build courage by feeling safe. You build it by moving with the fear. So expect your heart to race. Expect your palms to sweat. That's not a sign to stop. That's a sign you're doing something meaningful. Your brain is screaming because you're stepping outside the lines it drew. Good. That's where growth lives. But also, don't go it alone. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the presence of people who remind you you're not crazy for trying. Tell someone what you're doing. Ask for help. Get a therapist. Join a group. Fear isolates. Community disrupts that. Be careful who you ask. If you ask a person who is full of fears and self-doubt, this might not be the best person to ask. Ask people who have already done it or who are more optimistic, or ask many different people. Some will make you more fearful, some will make you hope, and they will help you to take your next step. Rewrite the story. Fear is built on a story. I am not enough. I'll mess it up. No one will catch me if I fall. These stories usually start early and settle deep. To face fear, you have to rewrite the story underneath it. This doesn't mean lying to yourself or chanting fake affirmations. It means noticing the thought and interrupting it. Saying, I hear that old line, but I'm not buying it today. Saying, that was true then. It's not true now. Saying, I've got new evidence. Every time you act in defiance of fear, you're writing a new story. You're becoming someone who can trust his or her own voice, who can make bold decisions, who can sit in discomfort without running. That's not fluff. That's freedom. When the fear doesn't go away. Some fears linger. That's not failure. It just means they matter. You're doing something meaningful and your brain knows it. You might carry some fear your whole life. That's fine. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. Fear wants to keep you small and safe, but safe isn't the same as alive. Safe doesn't get you the relationships, the career, or the sense of peace you want. Facing fear is the cost of becoming who you actually are. And the thing is, when you start doing it, naming it, moving through it, standing up even when it shakes, you start to trust yourself. You stop waiting for fear to leave. You just start walking with fear beside you, but not in control. That's when everything starts to shift. Identifying your starting point. We talk about fear like it's some dramatic, heart-pounding moment, but most of the time it's subtle, quiet. It shows up in the way you avoid hard conversations, in the way you overthink, in the way you scroll instead of starting. This way, you downplay what you want because it feels too much. That's fear, not loud and panicked, but consistent and exhausting. Your first job is to start noticing it. Exercise 1. Spot the fear behaviors. Grab your journal. No judgment. Just look at your patterns with curiosity. In the past week, when did I avoid doing something I cared about? Say yes when I wanted to say no. Overthink something to the point I didn't act. Shrink myself or stay silent to avoid conflict. Assume I'd fail before I even tried. Write it all down, be brutally honest. You're not weak for doing these things, you're human, and you're here to stop letting fear run the show. Exercise 2. Get specific with your fear. Pick one thing you've been avoiding, something that matters. Write it down, things I've been avoiding. Now answer, what am I afraid will happen if I do this? Is that fear real, or a story I've been telling myself? Fear always wants you to focus on the short-term discomfort, but your job is to see the long-term impact. You might be tempted to move on quickly, to get to the action steps. That's normal, but this is the foundation. If you skip over it, you'll just keep cycling through the same patterns. Take the time to understand what's really going on beneath the surface, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. If this message is resonating with you, pause for a second. Ask yourself, what's one fear that's been quietly steering your life? And what's one small promise you can keep to yourself this week to start rewriting that story? Share it in the comments below. Exercise 3. Your fear landscape. Let's map it out. Write down the key areas of your life where fear might be quietly steering the wheel. For example, 1. Career and ambitions. Fear shows up as procrastinating on applying for new roles or starting a passion project. Doubting your abilities, avoiding leadership opportunities. Staying in a job you dislike because the unknown feels scarier than the familiar. What it's costing me. Missing out on career growth, financial opportunities, and fulfillment. Feeling stuck and uninspired, losing motivation over time. Watching others succeed while staying in a cycle of what-ifs. 2. Relationships. Fear shows up as avoiding deep conversations or hiding emotions to keep the peace. Staying in relationships that feel comfortable but unfulfilling. Choosing isolation over vulnerability, fearing rejection. What it's costing me. Surface-level connections instead of meaningful relationships. emotional exhaustion from tolerating unhealthy dynamics, loneliness and a lack of true support when it's really needed. 3. Personal growth and identity. Fear shows up as downplaying dreams or hiding passions to avoid judgment, sticking to old routines instead of reinventing yourself, constant self-doubt thinking, "Who am I to do this? What it's costing me?" Living a life shaped by others' expectations instead of my own desires, feeling disconnected from my true self, settling for less, missing out on discovering my full potential. 4. Health and well-being. Fear shows up as avoiding change due to discomfort or inconvenience, ignoring physical or emotional needs for the sake of short-term ease, overthinking health decisions leading to inaction. What it's costing me. Long-term consequences that could have been prevented. Decreased energy, resilience, and confidence. A life limited by health struggles instead of thriving. 5. Finances and security. Fear shows up as avoiding money conversations or decisions because they feel overwhelming, sticking to scarcity mindsets that prevent financial growth, hesitating to invest in opportunities due to fear of loss. What it's costing me. Financial stagnation, missing out on smart opportunities, constant stress over money instead of strategic planning, a limited life dictated by financial fears rather than financial freedom. 6. Adventure and experiences. Fear shows up as choosing routine over uncertainty, avoiding new challenges, postponing bucket list experiences due to imagined risks, overthinking instead of taking spontaneous chances. What it's costing me. A life lacking memorable moments and excitement, regret over missed experiences that could have shaped me, settling for safety instead of embracing bold opportunities. You faced the fear, named it, and brought it into the light. But courage alone isn't enough. You can stare fear in the face and still not move. What actually breaks the cycle is trust. Because once you start believing in yourself again, your fear starts losing its authority. So now, let's go deeper into the blueprint of self-belief. How to rebuild the trust you once lost and turn courage into confidence. Rebuilding trust in yourself. You can't fake trust, not with other people and especially not with yourself. You know when you're bullshitting. You feel it when you make promises you know you won't keep. I'll start tomorrow, just this one time. Next time I'll handle it differently. The more you say things you don't follow through on, the more your inner voice just stops believing you. That's how self-trust erodes, not in one big moment, but in small betrayals you think don't matter. They do, so how do you fix that? Start with small, boring promises don't overreach. That's how you fail again. Instead, pick something dead simple and do it every day. No drama. I'll drink a glass of water when I wake up. I'll write down one thing I'm proud of before bed. I'll take a 5-minute walk. Not because those things are magical, but because you said you would, and then you did. That's how you start earning your own trust back. You do what you said you'd do, even when no one's watching. Especially then. Stop letting yourself off the hook. This one's going to sting, but it's true. Self-compassion without accountability is just avoidance with a soft voice. If you screw something up, own it. Don't sugarcoat. Don't explain it away. Apologize to yourself just like you would to a friend. Then ask, what would prove to me that I'm serious about not doing that again? That's your new standard. By the way, I've put together a free resource to help you explore it on a deeper level. It's a collection of short, powerful summaries and guided prompts designed to help you question the scripts you've inherited and start writing your own. You can grab your free copy through the link in the description. It's my way of helping you take the first step toward living life on your own terms. Recognize the old narratives. You've got internal scripts running your life, stuff you probably picked up as a kid or from people who had no idea what they were doing or just didn't have a positive and growth mindset. I'm not consistent. I always screw things up. I'm not that kind of person. These aren't facts. They're habits of thought, and they've been reinforced every time you've acted like they were true. Catch them, write them down, argue with them, replace them with something cleaner. I'm learning how to follow through. I've broken patterns before, I can do it again. I'm building consistency, not fake positivity, just honest, updated truth. Track evidence, not just feelings. Habits that strengthen confidence. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's not something you're born with. It's the side effect of action. It grows when you repeatedly face small discomforts and come out the other side still standing. So, forget trying to feel confident first. Just do the work. The feeling comes later. Confidence is built through the positive reinforcement you receive when you succeed, especially when the achievement stems from your own ideas. This not only strengthens your belief in your capabilities, but also deepens your trust in your instincts. Start small. Focus on manageable actions that allow you to experience success. Over time, these steps will help you cultivate and strengthen your confidence, making it a skill you can continuously develop. Build microcompetence daily. Every day, do something that makes you slightly better at something. It doesn't matter what. Learn one new phrase in a language. Read one page of something useful. Try a new setting on your camera. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can improve, that you're not stuck, that you're still growing. That little hit of "I didn't know how to do this yesterday, but now I do," that's powerful. Stack those moments. False confidence from the wrong goals. Sometimes, achieving a goal that is truly yours can create a superficial sense of confidence, a temporary high that doesn't last. External validation. You meet societal or family expectations, but deep down, it doesn't fulfill you. Illusion of success. You check off milestones that don't match your passions, leading to a hollow sense of accomplishment. Short-term confidence boost. You feel good for a moment, but self-doubt returns when the goal doesn't bring lasting meaning. While external success can provide some validation, it won't create self-sustaining confidence, the kind that grows from achieving goals that actually matter to you. Reflecting on your core values, do they still fit? Your values act as your internal compass, shaping the goals you set and the choices you make. But sometimes, what felt right before no longer aligns with where you are now. Let's pause and check. 1. Re-examine your existing values. Look at the values you listed earlier. Ask yourself, do these values still resonate with who I am today? Are they guiding my decisions, or do I feel disconnected from them? Have any new experiences shifted what matters most to me? 2. Identify any misalignment. If a value no longer feels authentic, explore why. Was it influenced by external pressure rather than personal conviction? Does it reflect who you used to be, but not who you are now? Are you struggling to stay aligned with it because your priorities have changed? 3. Rewrite what feels more true. Values should evolve as you grow. If you need to adjust or replace them, do it intentionally. What new values represents the person you want to become? How can you integrate them into your daily life? As we move forward, take a moment to reflect on the values you once identified. Core values act as guiding principles, shaping our decisions and personal growth. But as we change, our values can evolve too. 4. Apply your values to your goals. Now that you've checked or rewritten your values, make sure your goals reflect them. Ask yourself, am I setting goals based on who I truly am? Do my daily actions support my values? Am I working towards something meaningful or just following expectations? This exercise isn't about forcing change. It's about making sure you're living in alignment with what genuinely drives you. So, do your values still feel right, or is it time for an update? Clean up your environment. Confidence dies in clutter, mental, emotional, and physical. If your space is a mess, if your phone's pinging with distractions, if your mind's spiraling in old arguments and unsent texts, that stuff drains your power. Confidence thrives in clarity, so declutter. Make a list of things you've been avoiding and knock off one a day. Silence or delete the apps that hijack your focus. Stop tolerating situations or people that make you feel small. You don't need to run marathons, just move, walk with purpose. Breathe deep, sit up straight. It's not just posturing, it's biofeedback. Your body and brain talk to each other all day. If your body signals defeat, your mind will follow. Physical movement creates emotional momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Change rooms, go outside, put on music, dance like an idiot. Whatever shifts your energy. Then get back to work. Cut the shit talk. You can't build confidence if your inner voice is constantly tearing you down. You wouldn't talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself. So stop acting like that voice is just being honest. It's not honest. It's outdated. It's cruel, and it's in the way. Notice when it happens, interrupt it, say out loud, "That's not helpful." Replace it with a better question. What would I say to someone I care about right now? Then say that to yourself, again and again. Lock it in, your challenge commitment. The next challenge I face, I commit to. Not avoiding it. Taking one small action. Speaking to myself with respect. Asking for help if I need it. Trusting I will learn something from it. Sign it out loud or on paper. This video draws directly from the core teachings in my book, Fearless Transformation, A Journey to Self-Confidence and Fulfillment, and its companion workbook. You'll find it linked in the description. They're designed to work side by side, giving you the insights, tools, and guided exercises to help you face fear, rebuild self-belief, and transform from the inside out. Remember, courage doesn't mean you stop being afraid. It means you stop letting fear decide who you become. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.